Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is going to be about literary devices, which are simple tools that can make your writing a little bit more interesting if you just use them. And you're going to see a lot of the devices that we are going to be talking about today in future readings in books that you plan on reading. A lot of times authors use these literary devices to let the audience relate more to the text in a way that makes the book a little bit more gripping. So let's get on with this video. Our first literary device is an allegory. An allegory is a story or plot, so the entire narrative that uses elements like characters or even themes to back an abstract idea or to support an abstract idea. These abstract ideas can be very moral ideas, so for example, freedom, loyalty, friendship, etc. And when anybody says an allegory, what I think of is a deeper meaning. So the entire story has a deeper meaning to it. And when people say this phrase, it often means that rather than the literal sense of the story, it refers to something that's more important, something that we can relate to in real life. And as I mentioned before, these can range from things like respect, loyalty, freedom, friendship, any abstract idea. So let's go over an example that is actually an allegory. So the novel The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from Narnia is actually a religious allegorical text. So you can look this up if you want to, but I read that this book is a reference to Christian or Catholic faith. So you can read more about it online, but this is just an example of an allegory that is a very common book actually. And I'm pretty sure other common books are also allegories too that you can find online. So let's move on. Our second literary device is symbolism. Symbolism is the use of symbols to signify ideas and qualities by giving them symbolic meanings that are different from their literal sense. So the important part in this is the phrase that are different from their literal sense. So for example, we can have a rose that signifies love, or a white dove that signifies peace or freedom. So let's go back a slide. Let's look at an allegory. An allegory is an entire story or plot that has a different meaning or an abstract meaning. Symbolism is when specific objects or specific people have deeper meaning. So think of symbolism at a smaller scale when compared to an allegory. But yeah, it's basically the same idea, something that represents a deeper meaning or an abstract idea. Okay, so let's keep going. Simile is our third literary device. A simile is a comparison between two unlike objects using the words specifically like or as. So a simile is not a simile if it doesn't have like or as. So let's go over a couple of examples. This sentence, her smile is as big as a banana. So two unlike things, smile and banana, compared with the word as makes a simile. So yeah. Let's move on to the second example. His personality is bright like the sun. Two unlike things, a person's personality and the sun compared with the word like is being compared to make a simile. And similes are pretty straightforward. You see them a lot in a lot of places. Just remember that it's two unlike things being compared with like or as. Okay, so let's move on. We have imagery. So imagery are images or sensory detail of a literary work. Now this is when the author really wants to appeal to the reader's senses. And these senses include sight, smell, touch, sound, or taste. So great example is present in Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. I'm not going to read through this entire excerpt, but you can. You can pause the video right here and read through it. As you're reading through it, you can really envision the stuff that's going on in this excerpt. You can really taste some of the things. You can hear it. You can envision it. And And this is really important because some of these excerpts really grip the reader into continuing to read the book. And this is what you really want to include in your novel or text that you're writing if you want it to be interesting. Personally, for me, I find imagery to be the best literary device because that's when the reader sort of puts themselves into the story. Okay, so let's move on. Personification. Personification is when you use human traits, characteristics, actions to describe something non-human. So a really, really great example is this book, Animal Farm by George Orwell. And this book is practically based off of personification. So I'll give you a really cool sentence from this book. The pigs could already read as well as write perfectly. So in this sentence, George Orwell was saying that the pigs are doing things that humans are doing, like reading and writing. So this is the attribution of human characteristics to animals. And personification is really what brings things to life, literally and metaphorically, because they're attributing human characteristics, things that animals, or you can even attribute a human characteristic to a book, or you can even attribute it to a water bottle, whatever you want to do. But this is when you kind of give it a life, or maybe an action or a characteristic that makes it unique, just like humans are unique. Okay, so we have finished going over the 5 literary devices that we had to go over today. I'll just do a quick review. So we just did personification, we did imagery, we went over what a simile was, then symbolism, and allegory. So that sums it up for today's lesson. Please like this video and comment what you would like the next couple of videos to be about. If you have any questions, please email us at exceledlearning, and be on the lookout for new videos. Share this video with anyone who you think might be interested, and sign up for our virtual lessons. The link is in our website. We'll see you next time.